The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Welcome back to another episode of Cashing Out. I'm your host, Billy Elvira, my co-host, Wayne Hartzart. We are Easy Sell Property Solutions. We're located right over here in Holbrook, New York. We buy properties all day, every day for cash. You can find us online at easysell411.com or by phone 631-400-EASY. If you're in the market looking to sell your home, give us a call. It literally takes 15 minutes over the phone. It's the fastest, easiest, most hassle-free way for you to sell your home. This day and age, in this economy, in Long Island, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, where else are we buying? Pennsylvania, you're buying all the way upstate and almost like, where are you, Buffalo now? You're buying your rentals up there?
Nah, man.
Guys,
Lake George, Lake Placid, all the lakes. I like them. I like them up there.
Wayne likes the lakes.
It's nice up there, man.
So how you doing, brother?
I'm doing phenomenal. How are you? You look like
I'm very red.
Lobster Billy today.
Lobster
Did you get a little
Bill.
sun over there, my man?
2 hours in the car with the top down, and I'm burnt.
You don't hear a sunscreen.
Not as burnt as that guy behind the camera, but I'm burnt.
That's a different boat, folks. That's actually not sunburned.
You know that. I'm only playing. All right, so listen, we have a very special guest on today. I've known this gentleman. Mike, how long have I known you now for? 5 years? 4 years?
About 5 years or so, yeah.
About 5 years. So Michael Romano, very smart individual. I know he's Italian, ends with an O. He is an attorney. Believe it or not, he's not a Jewish attorney. He's an Italian attorney, which is a miracle in and of itself. But Michael, we've been doing business with him. Years back we started, and we were doing closings. But you quickly said, you know what, the closing game is not for me, and you wanted to get into a different side of law practice. And so why don't you just introduce yourself, Mike, say hello, and let us know what you do, what you're about, what you specialize in.
Sure. Thank you, Bill, and thank you guys for having me here today. My name is Mike Romano. My firm is Romano & Associates, and my specialty is litigation. Big part of my practice is litigation in the realm of real estate, estate planning, and also basic corporate and commercial litigation. So yeah, Bill, when you and I first met, I had started handling some of your closings for you, and after several years of practicing law, I realized that really what I enjoyed and what I felt I had a knack for and I liked was litigation.
Yeah.
So
you're very good at it, by the way. I mean, you're very articulate. You put together the right packages. You negotiate the right way. I mean, you are. And I'm not just saying it because you're on the show. Like, we have people on here. When we vouch, we really vet people. We either have done business with them or we check them out. I've been doing business now for 5 years. And you really do cross your T's and dot your I's. And you're not somebody to gouge. When I say gouge, you know, there's a lot of law firms out there, a lot of attorneys who they just bill you for every friggin' incremental second you're on the phone with them. Right. You don't do that. And it's appreciated.
I appreciate you saying that. Law became a second career for me. So I had I like to think I have a practical angle to practicing, and I understand being a business owner of my own, myself. You know, it's important to, you guys are in business. There's certain costs, certain things involved. Just think practical and honestly, be a regular guy. Yeah. A lot of attorneys get a bad name. Most people don't like us.
That happens
for many reasons.
I call you guys a necessary evil.
Yeah, that is the truth. That is the truth. So just try to be a normal person and think practically and strategically and have some common sense, which unfortunately is lacking in the world nowadays and lacking in a lot of attorneys. So
what we really appreciate with you is, take your law hat, put that on the side for a second. You have a love and a passion for real estate. You and I have gone away to seminars together. I mean, you're an entrepreneur by heart. You're just practicing law right now, but I see in the future, 15 years down the road, that you're maybe even sooner, that you're not going to be doing the practice where you're doing it now because your passion really is in the real estate side. Because of that, you've taken a position where you really, when it comes down to dealing with developers like us and flippers like us and guys who have a rental portfolio, you've really helped us grow our firm because we come across a lot of hairy properties. Yeah. I mean, Wayne, let's name some of the deals that we come across that are just hairy. I mean, probates are
a nightmare. We got families fighting for years, 10, 20, 30, 40 years back and forth that they won't come to an agreement. I mean, the probates are nasty sometimes when people, it's unfortunate, folks, when people pass away. It shouldn't be that way, but they do bicker over the littlest things. So how many times have you gotten involved in those types of deals for us?
The truth of the matter is that if you're a real estate investor and most of your listeners are in the real estate investment business, I'm the last guy you want to have to make a phone call to, right? Because you're hoping to find a deal that's going to go as smooth sailing as possible. But the reality is that in order to get a deal, it's going to have some warts on it.
Yeah.
It's going to have estate issues. It's going to have an old divorce that's been lingering for 15 years that finally you guys are responsible for cleaning up in order to get that deal. So, I think the reality is that, look, court sucks. I'll say
Litigation is horrible.
Yeah, it's very
court
challenging.
sucks. And even if you dot your I's and you cross your T's and you do everything right,
It's costly.
and you get to the finish line and you're waiting to get that order from the judge to say, yeah, we're going to enforce that contract that we locked into and that we have a right to do. You know what? The judge may say, adjourned.
Yeah.
6
Right from left field.
Adjourned
Boom.
6 weeks. And you'll say, Your Honor, but 6 weeks is how many dollars a day for my client, the real estate investor?
That's unbelievable.
It's an inherently inefficient system. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great judges, great practical, smart judges, and
It just seems like, Mike, it takes forever to get anything done, and the word justice just doesn't ring true in a lot of cases because it just seems like, no offense, but when litigation starts, man, what happens is the two parties that are fighting against each other, what really goes on is that the law firms are the ones that start making the money. And it sucks. You're a necessary evil. Listen, you're a solid individual. You're a good human being. But the whole law practice piece, to me, it's effed up. It needs an overhaul. I mean, I've been with attorneys who, I'm friends with them. And they're laughing, and not guys that I do business with, but these are guys that have practices that are way beyond. And they're like, we keep people on the phone for 15 minutes just to get that billing going.
Right.
And that's that to me. I want to throw up him. First, I want to knock him in his chin. Then I want to throw up at the same time.
Sure, definitely. Listen, time is money, and I think that the most important thing as real estate investors you could do is prepare in advance. Do your homework, do your due diligence. I mean, there's 1,000 books written about it, but it really is common sense.
So let's go into that now. Yeah. So when you have, because a lot of people that are listening live right now, they're in the real estate investment world. So give us a scenario, one that's either happened or that you could think of, or you could want to make it up just as a case study. Somebody goes in, gets a contract signed. They know there's a little hair. Let's just say there was the divorce situation, and on top of that, they inherited the property with a divorce. Right there, in and of itself, there's going to be issues with the property, with the deal.
Right.
So what should they do?
What are you going to do? Well, you guys do your analysis, right, to determine if you have a deal.
Sure.
Right? You do your math, you crunch your numbers, you come out with estimates of how, timing and how much
The
it's going to
repair
cost,
the after repair value, what we can offer.
Make the legal or possible legal issues, make it part of that analysis. What you do right out the gate is you run a basic maybe title report or something to that effect. Do a search on all the court websites, Web Civil Supreme. Learn all the people involved. Know your enemy, so to speak. So if you got an estate issue and there's 4 or 5 brothers and sisters that have been wanting to kill each other for 6 years, one of them wants to live in the house of free for the rest of the time, how do you deal with that?
It's a problem.
It's always a problem.
Right. And analyze
And we have a lot of those.
Yeah.
Tons of them.
But that's why it's a deal, right?
It's a deal.
Because that family just doesn't want to deal with that mess anymore. You come in and you're able to assist them with that. So I think doing an analysis up front, making that part of your contract, and when I say that, I mean, sometimes there's a lot of competition out there for you guys, right? So sometimes, absolutely, time is of the essence. Sure. But if you're not going to put it into your initial contract, think about even amending your contract to include certain provisions that are going to protect you as a real estate investor. Maybe it's as to who pays the legal fees. Maybe it's allowing for time extensions if some sort of legal issue comes up. Maybe it's a price reduction. Or maybe it's just the ability to walk away, which might be the best situation.
All good points.
All great points. Yeah.
Those are things you can do. And, I work with a lot of closing attorneys that will lean on me to look at the contract from a litigation aspect. And I can say, well, here's a couple of things you're going to want to amend that contract to protect your client. And these are things that'll kind of, just really from a strategy standpoint, put you in a better position to make the most out of that deal.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I want to hit on for the investors that are listening is that when you are doing your analysis, you can't do analysis paralysis, right? So your main objective in the beginning when you're working with the home sellers is to come up with a number and get that property under contract as quick as possible. You can't analyze the crap out of it beforehand because you're going to lose that property to somebody else, right? The name of the game is speed.
Sure.
A lot of sellers that are calling us, they want that property sold quickly, and they want to be able to go in, agree to the terms, the price, everything else, and then from there, like you said, if you add those provisions in either your addendum or in the contract itself, where if something pops up, you can renegotiate, perfect.
Right.
It's a perfect scenario.
Part of doing your due diligence up front.
Yeah, but a lot of people. I was at a seminar, doing a talk at a seminar, and they were saying one guy in the audience says he won't go into contract until he spends like X amount of days up front doing it. He goes down to town and pulls his CFOs. I'm like, listen, get the thing on the contract and figure it out afterwards.
Yeah, that's not real. That's not realistic. But there's a happy medium in between where you can take some steps to protect yourself from legal issues that might come up.
Yeah.
We're here today with Mike Romano from Romano and Associates. He's located out in Garden City. If you want to get in touch with Mike, his telephone is 516-248-8880. He is a phenomenal litigator. He has a legal mind for estates and probates, and his partners inside the firm, people that work with him, are really good with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. We're going to get into some of those pieces right after these messages. Welcome back. This is Billy Alvaro, Wayne Hartart. We are Easy Sell Property Solutions, located right over here in Holbrook, New York. You can find us online at easysell411.com, by phone 631-40-EASY. We are here today with Mike Romano from Romano and Associates. He is a litigation attorney. He can help out both home sellers who are having issues with maybe family members or a divorce situation or probate or estate. He could also help out our fellow investors who are out there who have some really hairy deals and they need guidance and somebody to take them by the hand and show them what to do with certain properties that they may have the contract or that they're thinking about getting on the contract but that have a lot of hair on them. So, the estate thing is extremely hairy, and we've given you quite a few cases over the years on the estate side. Let's talk divorce now for a second, because divorce is another sticky situation. Like, how deep are you? You're not a divorce attorney.
Not a divorce attorney, but I do have an understanding of how the process works, and a lot of times where divorce overlaps with real estate deals is you get a husband and wife, they get divorced 20 years ago, maybe one of the spouses stays in the marital home, and maybe the divorce attorney kind of botched up the job and didn't finish up at the end, and they leave a deed kind of sitting up there in lingo. The deed is still joint tenants by survivorship.
Which means what for the listeners?
Which means that the husband and wife, one of them passes away, the other one takes the entire ownership of the property. So,
even though they're divorced.
That's correct.
Because the deed was not rectified after the divorce.
That's correct. So what a smart divorce attorney will do is when they settle the divorce, they're going to do a deed transfer, and they're going to make husband and wife tenants in common, meaning that they split it down the middle, 50-50 goes down their estate. When that doesn't happen, and we have a deal now in the Bronx where that's an issue, you've got some issues that you have to deal with, particularly in the divorce in the divorce courts, to basically enforce the original order and to confirm the ownership is in fact 50-50.
So it was just to summarize on this, the first attorney that did this divorce really blew it. He didn't do the right thing by his clients.
They dropped the job.
They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball.
Yeah.
So this goes back right to what I was saying before. A lot of these attorneys, they're billing like crazy, and they just don't take the freaking time to go through and get things done the right way.
They walk away. They got paid their last retainer. They don't finish the job.
Yeah.
And they hope it never comes up, and sometimes it doesn't for another 12, 15 years.
And by that time, the guy's retired.
20 years.
But that's how real estate investors find a deal, right?
Yep.
So you come in and you inherit this mess of a legal situation,
which we have one right now. This is the case study.
Sure.
One right now.
And you have to go ahead and find the best, most practical way to do it.
So with a situation like that, let's go into it. The guy, the two people have been divorced for 12 years, 15 years, however long it was.
Something like that, 1998, I believe.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yep.
Now, what are the steps that you have to do in order to first get the divorce, I guess, redone, or?
You have to enforce the original order that lacked clarity. So there was this ambiguous sort of unwritten mess of an agreement that you have to get the court saying, okay, this is what that meant. This is what they meant by that
15
agreement
years
back
ago.
then. Enforce that, have the court's blessing, and then you can confirm that, okay, I'm actually buying 50% that the guy actually owns.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue.
Quite the challenge.
Very sticky situation.
Yeah, and in those kind of situations, look, part of it is law. You got to look at all the legal aspects, the law, what to do, what steps to take. But a lot of times, thinking outside the box helps as well. And
And that's where we come in. So my specialty is problem properties. I've been doing this, even when I had the mortgage bank and the title company, because I'm able to do what I do and think creatively about making a deal happen because of the vast experience I've had over the last 25 years. Owning a mortgage bank and owning a title company for 7 years, a bank and a title company nationally, gave me the insights of really how to make a deal happen, understanding all the freaking title issues that could possibly be out there. But then more than that is figuring out how to untangle them and make this shit happen. I'm not an attorney, don't proclaim to be one, but I know we get deals done because of the insight. So if there's anybody out there listening that's in the wholesale arena, that's in the rehab arena, and you have deals that you just can't figure out how to get them done, Michael, you have to first have a mind that's going to say, this is what we can do. Come to me for that. Then we go to Michael to actually figure out the law side. Making a deal happen, I'm a deal maker. Wayne's a deal maker. The law side, that's Michael Romano. You put us together, unfreaking stoppable.
And it's a team approach, and I like to think it's a common sense approach because sometimes, a lawyer will put on their lawyer hat and it's tunnel vision. Okay, this is a law, this is what we could do. But a lot of times it's what the other guy has to lose or has to gain. And I think looking at things from a different angle can maybe get you to the finish line a little more efficiently. If I could share a quick
Please,
story that
absolutely.
I'm kind of proud of. This is a pretty cool situation. Is a real estate investor client of mine had bought a large commercial property from the county, right? There was a title issue going
From the
back.
county, was it a tax deed that they bought, or was it just?
It was I believe it was a tax deed. Yeah.
Okay.
The long and short of it is, the county took the property from some poor guy back in 1976 via eminent domain. They were going to build a county building.
Yeah.
Long and the short of it, they forgot to file the proper paperwork. So when my client bought the property, that title company, they insured over it, right? They crossed it out, no problem, right? Nothing to worry about. Some papers misfiled by the county, typical, right? When he went to resell it to a national corporation, they weren't going to take that. They wanted squeaky clean title. The issue for my client was his carrying cost was $20,000 a month for this property.
Jesus.
So I met with the county attorneys, old typical attorneys with the white hair and all that, and they said, "Well, Mike, you're going to have to do a quiet title action." Well, we all know here how long these kind of litigations take.
Years.
We're talking 12, 18 months, if nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
We're talking what?
Perfect.
$250,000. So long and the short of it is that we came up with a solution where we had to close that break in the chain of title, and what we were able to do is, my team, we sent out letters. The guy who had the property taken from the county had a unique name. We sent out letters to about 12 or 15 different people with that last name. We got his son, who was divorced out in New Jersey, called us back, explained the situation. We were able to convince the father to actually come in and sign a quick claim deed.
You have to pay him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy part about it was that, unfortunately, the dad was terminally ill, and he was living in Jamaica, the island. So he was, we had to convince him. We paid him to fly up to New York, gave him some money in exchange for the quick claim deed, but took about 3.5 weeks. Saved the client maybe $250,000.
See,
so
this is what I'm saying about having the
That's
right
right
people
people.
on your team. I mean, that's a deal maker right there. You just put your legal head into it and figured out how to make it happen. Kudos to you for that, bro.
And it's common, and it's it's just a bunch of guys thinking out common
what
sense
happens.
thoughts. That's really a lot of times you get caught up in the weeds of the legalities, and really it comes down to common
But
sense.
that's an important point, because a lot of attorneys out there would have gone through the legality piece, and they would have looked at the money they're going to make, not saving their client money.
Yep.
And they would have been like, all right, quiet title, let's make it happen. 18 months later, however many hundreds of thousands, if it's going to cost, even 30, 40, 50 grand, whatever it is, this poor bastard's paying us $20,000 a month, plus your legal fees. You got it whacked out in a month.
Yeah.
Get the job done
But
right,
look,
do it right.
Surrounds
Client for
himself with
life.
good people, put great minds together. He thinks outside the box. He makes the deal happen for his clients, and that's the people, folks, that you want right here. This is what we surround ourselves with. We wouldn't people on the show if we didn't have the integrity like this. And see
And
what
you
they're
look
doing.
sharp today,
And he
by the way.
does
I
look
like
good.
your jacket.
Once in a while, I
got purple on. I think I should have his jacket.
That is a handsome
I think
jacket.
this might finish my suit over here, right? He's a sharp-looking guy, huh?
That's a good story, man. You
great
probably
story.
have another dozen or two
Ah, you
just
got
like that.
Tons of those.
Yeah, I'm super proud of that. But that's the kind of approach you need to take as real estate investors, and work as with a team effort with your closing attorney, with your litigation attorney, and really have a good plan for every project that you do.
Yeah, and you said it, Wayne said it, the whole team approach is important. You want to have A players on your team.
Absolutely.
There's no room for C+, B-, B+. You need the A players. And so when you get them, you hold on to them. You guys do business together. You do it well. You're going to have disagreements. Shit's going to happen. But you keep on going forward with the common cause, because A players are hard to come by.
We're only as strong as our weakest link, right?
No doubt.
Teamwork makes the dream work, you know?
That is the expression of the day. Monday, motivation.
Yeah, baby.
Teamwork
Yeah,
makes
baby.
the dream work. When dream work makes the teamwork.
Teamwork makes the teamwork. There we go.
Oh, what
there,
the hell?
there it is.
I blew it.
Yeah. But you know what I liked, though, was something we touched on at the beginning, is that the fact that you were one of our closing attorneys, you did work for us, and then you followed your true passion. And that's where your entrepreneurial spirit comes out, because you're going to the next level. And every time we see you develop as an attorney, we see where you're going, and as Billy has mentioned, where you're going to go in the next 5-10 years. But now you're doing something you love.
Yeah.
And it's not work then, right?
And well, yeah.
It's work, but you love doing it, though.
You love you do big picture. You do. You love what you do, and the same goes for you guys, right? I mean, this is.
I don't work a day in my life. I
That's
love
right.
what I do.
Real estate's your passion, and all the other aspects of it that you handle. Do you have to do the grind? Some parts of it,
Of course.
But that's anything. But you're
business,
You're
life.
Right. I don't work.
Wouldn't want it any other way. None of us would.
Love the strategy part of it. Love working with great guys like you to make make things happen and make the deal come to close.
And by the way, I'm kind of glad you gave up doing closings, because you referred us over to another A player, Dan,
That's
who is
right.
an
You gave us the
absolute
whole-
beast.
that's
And
how we
I put him through the freaking ringer, by the way, when
Sure
he
you
came in.
did. Yeah.
I interviewed his ass. He sat there. It's like a job interview. I'm like, sir, tell me about your credentials and who'd you close. And then we tested him for like a month and a half, 2 months, just to see.
And now he's one of our key players.
2.5. I think he's been. When did you go over full litigation? 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
About three and change.
And
yeah.
he's been with us since, and he's an A player.
Animal.
So thank you for
Absolute
that.
animal.
Hey, it's all about the
He's
team.
very
All about
good.
the team.
All right, listen. This is Billy Alvaro, Wayne Harto. We are Easy Sell Property Solutions. You can find us online at easysell411.com. If you want to sell your home fast for cash and get a fair offer, call us 631-400-EASY. And by the way, if you have a situation you're going through where you need a good litigation attorney, Michael Romano for Romano & Associates, 516-248-8880. The guy is a gentleman. He knows what he's doing. He is the best when it comes down to litigation out here in Long Island, New York. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you guys so much, and happy first birthday to my daughter Leah today.
Hey,
there you
it
go.
is. Shout out, baby. Yeah. Happy birthday.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.